This is Trouble Free, Braden Lee, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is the one show more. Hello, everybody, and you're listening to the Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is Zoë Sager, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
And
This is
3, 2, 1.
This is Zoë Sager, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show at Wrestling with Entertainment. The best audio experience on the web today. Interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox. Sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., alongside Scooter Dust.
Working in a mirror factory is something I can totally see myself doing.
And it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with Zoë Sager.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, Zoe?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, great. Could you tell us what you got coming up next?
Yeah, I know this is coming out after this, these shows, but this Friday I will be in Calgary, for Real Canadian Wrestling at the Legion downtown, and then Saturday in Edmonton, Alberta, also for Real Canadian Wrestling, at the Norwood Legion. Next week I have Dungeon Wrestling on the May 21st at the Siksika Nation. I don't know what the building is called. And then the following week I have Love Pro Wrestling. I can't remember what the name of the show is. Love Pro Wrestling number 4. That is May 27th at the Rec Room South Common in Edmonton, Alberta. And then the following night I am at Nation Extreme Wrestling in Coquitlam, BC. And I will be wrestling Gigi Rey on that show. So that'll be fun. The other shows I don't know who I'm wrestling for sure yet, so.
And where can we, of course, find you on social media?
Social media on Instagram, it is Zoe_Sager, and on Twitter, it is @SagerZoe.
Do we have merchandise yet?
Not available online, only at shows.
Okay. And of course, all of those links will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. You need merchandise, go see her live.
Yes.
Alright. And now, you mentioned it. You work for RCW and Love Pro Wrestling. Can you tell us about
Yes.
your relationship with those companies?
Yeah, so with RCW, I've worked for them since, I think my first show that I ever did with them was March 2019. And it was just a couple of out-of-town shows to start with. And then during the pandemic, the promotion that I primarily worked for, it still hasn't started running again since the pandemic. There's some logistical things going on. But RCW was running every week in Calgary and Edmonton. And so I was given the opportunity to work for them consistently since June of 2021, and I've worked pretty well every week since then, and both Edmonton and Calgary since about August with them. And then Love Pro Wrestling, they only started in October, was their first show, October 2021, and that was an awesome show. I've known Spencer, the promoter, for a while now, pretty well almost since I started wrestling in 2018. And he's always been a super good dude. He's very, very motivated and it's very cool to see people live out their, like, dreams of being able to run different shows and like seeing the differences, because the more wrestling there is, whether it is like WWE, AEW level, or even at the independent level, more good shows for good wrestlers to work.
Absolutely, because things kind of got scarce in the pandemic.
Yes, for sure. I didn't wrestle from March, I believe, 13th. I looked it up recently. March 13th, 2020, until June. I don't know the date. June 2021. So it was over a year that
Like
I hadn't
15 months.
wrestled in front of a crowd, and that was tough.
I can imagine. Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, looking through all of your matches that were available to watch, I find a consistent theme, and that is the time in which your matches go. You have, I believe, out of everyone we've interviewed so far, have an average match length that goes way beyond the typical average of what we typically see. I'm seeing 20-minute matches, 15-minute matches, and so on and so forth. Is that part of your ethic when performing in the ring?
Honestly, I've just been for those matches that I've posted, I've just been very fortunate to have a lot of people in the back, kind of in my corner, and really pushing to have myself and all the other women be able to really put out what we can do. I have been fortunate that I have been able to have a lot of longer matches, especially in the last little bit. For the first, like, I would say year and a half, the most I ever got was 10 minutes. And so I have had I have had the experience of having the shorter matches. And those matches just happen to be longer. Those are what I post publicly are usually the ones that are my favorites, that I like the commentary, like the story behind them. But I also enjoy having the shorter matches. They're a little bit more of a challenge, being able to get the message across that you want to in a shorter amount of time and make it still make sense and still hit all the points. But having longer matches also, like, you're able to take your time just a little bit more and be able to let things sink in and absorb a little bit differently than you can in a shorter match. But I enjoy doing both, so it just those matches that are online, I've just been fortunate to be given a little bit more time with those.
All right.
Now, one of your opponents, you beat KC Spinelli, and
I have.
she's a really big name on the independents. Could you
She
tell
is.
us about that match and that experience going up against, one of the heavy hitters?
Yeah, so before I started training, I watched um, the first season of World of Hurt. I can't remember if I watched any more, just because it was like Lance's thing, whatever, and like she was in it, and so like I've known, even though I didn't watch a whole lot of wrestling other than WWE before I started training, I still knew who she was, and so throughout my career, I've been able to kind of follow what she's been doing, and see what was happening beforehand. And so I've known of her my entire time of wrestling. And so it was when I found out that was who I was going to be wrestling, I was very. It was a little bit daunting. I wasn't necessarily intimidated by it, because I'll take on anybody. But it was a little bit daunting for sure. knowing like what she's done and the name that she has and where she's been, sort of thing. So I just watched a lot of her matches just to kind of prep for it and kind of know what was going on. And then in the match, being able beating her was something that I was very, very excited to have happen. I wasn't expecting it. It was an awesome match. I believe it's on YouTube now. It was so much fun, and she gave me quite a bit of feedback afterwards, and just like even just the simplest things that I never thought of prior, that really helped. And I've been fortunate enough to have 2 more matches since then with her in them, a tag match and a fatal 4-way, and they're so much fun. It's awesome being able to work with her.
What was
Lots of fun.
And that's great. What was the big takeaway or something that stuck with you from what the advice she gave you?
A lot of it is like letting things, knowing when to let things sit, I guess. And a lot is like when to like follow the crowd, sort of thing. It's something that I struggle with a bit of, like, when do you feed, like, it's hard to explain. Stuff with like crowd work is a lot of what I learned from her in that match.
Okay. And I did notice in the match you had on the back of your gear, I am. What was
Yes.
the significance of that?
So that's something I don't think I've ever explained it like in a podcast or like publicly. I know a couple of people close to me know. I am is something that is just like I've kind of transitioned away from it a little bit now, but at the time when I was coming up with it, it was something that I kind of needed. I needed the push of like those like I am statements that help with confidence and whatever. The like I am here, I am a champion, I am any of the like good things, sort of thing that you could put in there.
I am beating KC Spinelli in this match.
Exactly, that sort of thing. I had like ideas of where I wanted to go with it, and I never went. I never like really dug into it. But now I've gone like a different direction with it, and I've now retired it. But it was just like at the time it was something that I needed something aside from, oh, I'm just like this baby face who like is just fiery. I needed just something to a little bit more, yeah, to specifically for like promos and stuff. I needed something that I could like play off of. And as my promo skills, they're still not great, but I've gotten a little bit better. I've been able to not have to have the crutch of needing that as much.
Oh. Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, from what I've researched, you were you had a background in rugby.
Yes, I did.
How did going from rugby to pro wrestling, did it help you in the ring at all?
I think it helped. Maybe not necessarily with the in-ring work, but rugby is a very, very tough sport, and that it was honestly, if it wasn't for pro wrestling, I think I probably would have tried to play rugby professionally. because aside from wrestling, it's the sport that I've done the longest. I played it for 5 years consistently. I played it 1 year in junior high, and then all through high school. And my older sister played. My younger sisters played. My youngest sister still plays, and it toughened me up a little bit. It helped me really, honestly, the endurance part of like pro wrestling is what probably rugby helped prep me for the most, because it's go consistently for the 60 minutes. You're just like on the go. I'd always be running back and forth across the field because I played hook, and so it was just like I was involved in everything. I was always in trying to get in with the ball. I was in the rucks. I was in the malls. And so just being consistent with like the endurance aspect, that definitely helped in pro wrestling, as well as toughening me up a little bit. Those tackles aren't always the nicest thing to take. And the occasional dub tackle, not nice, but
No. All right.
Now you mentioned having sisters. If one of them was interested in getting into pro wrestling, would you be the supportive sister or the Roman Reigns fall in line Oos sister?
I'd be supportive. Honestly, I don't think any of my siblings would. They all got we're all like very different. My older sister wants to be like a psychiatrist, psychologist, can't remember which one. Then my younger sister like is very much into like cosmetology and hair and stuff. Then my youngest sister is also into sports, but just different sports aside from rugby than I am interested in, and ever was interested. And of all my siblings, I'm the only one who like really dove into pro wrestling. But I'd be supportive. Make sure that they know, prep them to know what they're getting into, sort of thing. But yeah, I'd be supportive.
Now, you was the first woman to hold the PWA Women's Title, and you was the
That is
first,
correct.
and you were also the first woman to win the PWA Resolution Rumble.
Yes.
What does it kind of mean to you, and at that part, at that time in your career, being so new to it, to have so many firsts?
Yeah, it's very cool because PWA, oh, I can't even remember now. I think it's been around for now 20 years, but the pandemic, whatever. But at that point, I think maybe it was 18 years. Their 18th anniversary had just passed. So, and they never had enough women to really quantify having a women's division. And when I came in, one of the girls that I trained with, she came into the company as well, and there was another girl there already, and then we had brought in another girl, and so there were now 4 of us, and that was something that hadn't happened in that time in Alberta. There were that many women in that company at one time to be able to have an actual division, and then to be able to be the first champion. It was something that I didn't take lightly. It was very cool to be able to, especially at that point, because I wasn't even a year in, or I was like just under a year in at that point, and to be able to be that kind of standard bearer of like what's going to be coming with the women's division, and really like try and make it something that was worth watching in Alberta and in PWA. It was something that was very cool. And then with the Rumble, that was that was wild. I lost the title like earlier in that night, and so it was one of the being able to like win in that match and be the first woman to win, and win the opportunity to get back my title, which that match never happened because of COVID. But it was super fun. It was the first time I'd been in like an actual like Rumble match, aside from like everyone just starts in the ring at the same time sort of thing. And so it was a bit of a challenge trying to be in there with people that I'd never been in the ring with before and that sort of stuff. But it was very cool to be able to be the first. I wish more had been able to come of that, but COVID happened 2 months later, so alright, it's all good.
Well,
Can't change the past.
it's going to become, a more anticipated thing. 2 years in the making.
Yes, for sure. I got my rematch earlier this year. It ended up being a fatal 4-way, but I got my vengeance on Gigi Rey, so that was good.
It seems like some more
Won the title back.
coming her way soon.
Yes.
Oh, now, Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, I am a bit of a grammar snob, and
You can tell where this is going.
does it irk you when somebody does not pay attention to those two little dots above the E, the diaresis, and mispronounce your name in any way?
It used to bug me more growing up, but now I've kind of just like let it go. There are certain people that like I'll I say let, everybody can call me what they want, but I don't mind with people like calling me Zoe or whatever. Now at this point, there are other people where it's like, no, you don't have the right to shorten my name. My name is short enough already. But like my friends, it's like totally fine. It's more so like people who I'm not the biggest fan of, sort of thing. But I've got, as I've gotten older, I've realized it's like not worth the mental headache of correcting everybody all the time. But it's all right. It's fine now. It makes it a little bit. It really points out who's paying attention when they spell it correctly. Like you guys can even see, I didn't even put them on this chat just because it didn't pop up. But
I'm not even sure how to type that into a computer.
Oh, you hold down the E, and it should come up with a number of options for foreign characters.
Even on a laptop?
Even on a laptop, yep.
Oh, the more you know.
only on a Mac laptop. On a like a PC, you have to go through like insert and then find it. But
Yeah, with PC, it's like a 4-digit code.
Yeah, I'm on a gateway, so there you go.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So Zoe with 2 dots is a suit, not a walk.
yeah,
So did you ever consider making it Zoe with a Y, or was it when going into pro wrestling?
I like considered it. And people even on posters, they put it over the O or they put it on the E in my last name. And so it never stays consistent like that way. I honestly, I did think about it. Not with the Y though, because I just, no offense to anybody named Zoe with a Y, but I don't like the look of it. And just, I'm so used to just putting the dots over it that anytime I'd sign autographs, it would happen anyways, and so I just figured I'd embrace it, and it's on my birth certificate, may as well. If I have to change it, then I have to change it at some point, and it just makes it so people only know me as 2 names rather than 4.
All right, I like that.
Not a lot of Zoe's with 2 dots in pro wrestling, so I mean.
Not in pro wrestling. Not even in like pop culture. Like there's Zoe Kravitz, and that's the only one that I can think of. And then like Chloe Grace Moretz has it on her name, but different name.
Different name, but we don't talk about Chloe's, but about Zoe's.
Same old diuresis.
Alright, interesting. So, something else that's very interesting, and this is probably the biggest match you've ever had in your life. You wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes, I did. Stone Cold TFA. That was really fun. It was honestly like it was really fun, but it was also like very nerve-wracking to prep for that match. Being because I wanted to be able to do The Rock justice. Being like doing Rock versus Austin is like in 2021 as 2 women doing it, especially making sure that like it got received the way that we pictured it in our heads, sort of thing. It was so much fun, and we just had the best time. And spilling beer everywhere. It was a blast. That whole taping was a blast.
How does that come about? Who's pitching you? Okay, you're going to have a match with Taryn from a county, but you're not going to be Zoe. You're going to be The Rock, and she's going to be Stone Cold. Was you
We
ever given
pitched
the
it.
option of being Stone Cold?
We pitched it.
Oh,
We
you
pitched it. Taryn's favorite wrestler, like of all time, is Stone Cold, and so like she was gonna do it. The previous, so with the Clandestine Society, every show, of the 3 shows, all the shows have what they call an imitation match, and so the first show that they did in 2019, the imitation game match was Jericho versus Batista, and it was Jack Pride as Y2 Jack Pride as and then Davey Doyle as Davey Batista. And so that was the first one that they did back in 2019. And then for Act 2, which was taped during COVID, because we weren't allowed to have fans, it was Undertaker versus Kane, and it was Heavy Metal as The Undertaker and Michael Richard Blaze as Kane. And that match was just wild, and it was so much fun. But me and Taryn were both like, but we want to be able to do something, and something that we both enjoy. And part of the thing with the imitation game is like we want to be able to do the things that like are in the past. Nobody can confuse it with like us making fun of the people nowadays, sort of thing.
Right.
And so we did. And Taryn's favorite wrestler is Austin, and I really enjoy The Rock. And even before then, I was like, we were learning like elbow drops or something, and I was like imitating it and that sort of stuff. And so that's how it came to be. We really wanted to do it, and it was so much fun. It was hard, not necessarily hard to prep. It was a lot to prep just to make sure that I got it right. I still can't do the eyebrow thing. It makes me mad every time I try. But it was fun.
Did you had was that custom gear that you had specifically for that match?
So what it was I found it was custom, but it was like made by me. I like crafted it.
Okay.
It was like a pair of like bikini bottoms that I just painted the Rock logo on, and then on the back for the bull, I had somebody print off like a cricket, like vinyl thing for that.
That's impressive because I did. You could have fooled me. That looked like custom ring gear. It looked professional.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that it came off that way, because seeing it now, it just looks like painted, painted swim bottoms.
Pulling back the curtain. Alright, Splitter, you have a question.
You know, I think what I want to ask about might take a little bit of time. So, James, why don't you go for another, and then
Sure.
I'll ask about it after,
Now,
just in case we lose time.
when researching you, there are two names that come up a lot, and I think you know what those two names are. Ava Lawless, Taryn from accounting. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of wrestling the same people over and over again?
With both of them, I've trained with them a lot. But with Taryn specifically, I train with her. We both live in the same city, and we both train at the Top Talent Wrestling Academy in Edmonton. And so I trained with her like every day pretty much throughout the pandemic, and then being able to, and even like before that, Fourth Pro Wrestling had a training building, and that's when we like first met each other and started training. And so we've been training with each other for probably about 2 years straight now. And so we know each other very, very well. We learn things at the same time. We learn how to take each other's moves, like at training from the ground up and that sort of thing. And we've been able to get very, very close. And she's one of my like closest friends, like in the business. And she's so, so awesome. And we both have like very similar mindsets as for wrestling, and wanting to be able to really show like what we can do and what the women can do in Alberta, because there's not a whole lot of us. I think right now, of the wrestlers who are like working consistently, there's maybe 7 of us in the entire province.
Yeah.
And like it's not a lot, and in the one promotion there's only me, Taryn, Ava, 5 of us. So 2 of them are in like other promotions, but there's only 5 of us, and not all of us work this shows consistently. But really being, and so because there's not a whole lot of representation, and there hasn't been in years past. It's only been in the last like 4 years that I've been around that there has been able to be that many women. And so being able to show that we can put on like these killer matches, and like we can be the draw, and we can really like we can be good workers and good wrestlers. And it's so with Taryn, we have that mindset together. And because we have that mindset, we're always trying to outdo ourselves and always trying to progress and get better with every single match that we have. And be able to really push ourselves and try different things. And the advantage of being able to work them consistently, RCW runs every week even still, and so if we mess up one week, that's fine. We have next week to redeem ourselves. It's not like how it was pre-pandemic, when it was you'd wrestle once in Edmonton, once in Calgary a month, and so and we'd take, and July and December would be taken off, and so you didn't have that great of a match in June. You'd have to wait a whole 2 months to be able to redeem yourself.
Yeah.
Which like also in that system it worked really well, because you'd always be like making sure that you had like you hit all the things. It was like an extra bit of pressure, but like there's still that pressure even working weekly, being able to be like no, we're going to have this match. If it doesn't hit, it's okay. We'll try something new next week. It's fine. And then working with Ava, it's been, I love working with her. She's so awesome. I've also trained with Ava like a lot too. Just we live in different cities, so it's been a little bit harder. But I think I'd have to go back and look. I think I've worked Ava the most of anyone now at this point. I think it was Kat Von Hughes for the longest time, but now I think Ava's taken that spot of people that I've worked the most. And so like we've grown, and I watched Ava take some of her first bumps at a mini camp, and so I've been able to pretty much see her grow through her entire career, and it's been like really, really cool to see and be a part of it, and also have her be a part of like my early career as well, learning and trying different things. And so it's been really, really, really fun to be able to do it with those two.
It kind of seems like, you are in it together, but
Yeah.
in a way there's still that rivalry there.
Yes, we're all trying to be, and I don't know if it's like if that rivalry is trying to be better than the other person, but trying to us all be better. Like the rivalry there is like who can make each other look best. It's like it's a rivalry of like I'm gonna make sure that I look good so that way you look good, and you look good so that way I look good, sort of thing. It's just a constant like competition to like bring everybody to the next level together, sort of thing.
Is it kind of a double-edged sword of, okay, I know I could have a banger with these two girls and tear a house down, but come on, give me another singles match with KC Spinelli.
Yes and no. Because I have like it is like it's really awesome to be able to work with people who have like a lot of more experience than I do. But also it's the real test is like, yeah, I can work all these names and they can not necessarily bring me up to their level, because I feel like I'm able to do like bring myself up as well. I don't feel like I need to be I hope that it doesn't look like I'm like being dragged up. I feel like I'm able to match it, but it's being able to take what I learned in those matches with those people who have the experience and bring it back to the matches that I have with Taryn and Ava and anybody else who I wrestle on the local level, and be able to do it with them as well. Do the same type of things with them, to make it so all of us look good here. So taking what I learned there and bringing it back, sort of thing. Would I love to have another singles match with Spinelli? Of course, I love Spinelli and it's awesome. I've had like a couple matches with Nicole Matthews, who was who was like one of the top people in Shimmer. She was in the Man Classic, and I've now been able to have 2 singles matches with her. One just happened recently, and being able to like watch the two of them side by side, the growth that I see in myself within that time is really, really, really cool to see, because it's things that like I wouldn't necessarily have thought of. Like I'm just a different wrestler, different person than I was when I wrestled her the first time, and so it was cool to see that and that sort of thing, and that's with working with Taryn and Ava.
Alright. Scooter, are you done with your question?
Yes.
Just don't forget the Burger King question.
I will Burger King your face, James.
I prefer Wendy's.
Alright.
Wendy's is the GOAT. Sorry.
There you go.
Alright. Can Lance Storm not be serious for a minute?
Yes. He's actually he's a very like entertaining and like very like charismatic person. He'd like be in there anytime he's telling a story. He usually had a smile on his face. He's a very like different person than he was on TV for sure.
Okay. All right. Now, this is the big thing because I grew up on this. This is something that got me through my high school years, and that's Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Love it.
Were you a part of your own Scooby Gang, and what character would you consider yourself?
Oh, I mean, like in high school, no, I wasn't part of a Scooby Gang. In like my grade 11 year, junior year, however you want to say it, all of my friends were like in grade 12 and seniors, and so like they all graduated, and then I had to find whatever. And so I didn't have that in high school, but now I think if we want to do that, my like core group of friends that in like wrestling, so like Michael Richard Blaze, Stephen Crow, Taryn from accounting, Ava, Lawless, sort of thing, are like my closest friends in wrestling, as well as Gigi Rey. She just lives in Houston now, and so that's over text, but her in there as well. They're awesome, and I love hanging out with them. Oh, and then for character, I don't know. See, I love the show. It's so good. I'm like rewatching it, like literally, not right now, but like I've been rewatching it. Oh, it's so good. Ooh. So hard to say because I really like most of the characters. I don't know who I'd say because, that's a hard question.
We can come back to it. In high school, based on my semi-long hair and my uncanny resemblance to Nicholas Brendan, I was clearly typecast as Xander.
Not a bad thing. Xander's great.
To this day, I still keep in touch with a friend, and we refer to each other as our yellow crayons.
Aw, that's cute.
Okay. Angel or Spike?
Spike. I love Spike.
Thank you.
Spike it was in the wrong, like has been in the wrong, but Angel was good until like Angel stuff, and then like he became a bit like right before he left for LA and like Angel started. He was not the nicest person, but Spike makes me laugh, so can't not choose Spike.
So building on that, were you a fan of Angel's spinoff?
Yes, but when it first came out, I was like very, very young, and so my dad has them all on DVDs, and now it's on Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever. But I don't think I've actually finished the series, because it's so hard now to like go back and forth. I wish there was like some way to sync it up, so like you could watch Buffy or like whichever show has like a spin-off, and it to be able to like play the episode of like Angel that comes after this specific Buffy episode, so like it all makes sense, because I'd forget, oh, this is what's happening at this period of time, sort of thing. And so I never ended up finishing it just because I got like confused like where it was going. But I really like it. I love Cordy, and I love the fact that she was able to really have a big role in that show.
So you're basically saying what most people do with Star Wars, in that you want to watch it all on one linear timeline, so to speak.
I don't like need. It's just because I didn't watch it like when it was there, because like Buffy came out in what, 97? I wasn't born until 99, so like it came out before I was born. It started, and so that means Angel was like 99, 2000, and so I was literally an infant or wasn't born when it came out. So just to be able to kind of experience it in that similar way instead of having to like constantly go back and forth and whatever, just to like get through it all the first time, and then at that point I could watch either.
Well, that answers my next question. If you're a fan of the 92 movie with Christy Swanson and Luke Perry.
I have not watched it. I know it's on...
Fair enough.
I know it's on Disney Plus, but I haven't had any interest. Sarah Michelle Gellar is too good. She's the only Buffy for me.
Now, given the controversy of switching networks after the show supposedly ended with season 5, then it moved to UPN for the last 2. Do you have an opinion on whether the show should have stopped after season 5, or do you enjoy the last 2 seasons as well?
I enjoyed the last 2 seasons. With like Buffy specifically, like there are other shows that I think should have ended when they were supposed to end. Lost. But Buffy, like I really like the show. I really like the majority of the characters. Tara is not my favorite, but so like it was just, I think they did a lot of cool things after season 5, like with Evil Willow and whatnot. But yeah, I have no problem with it. If other people have different opinions, that's for them. But I like the show. I don't have an issue with it going longer.
Now, something that a lot of people didn't know beforehand is that James Marsters was actually American.
Yeah.
And he was faking that great accent. Have you ever had the chance, pre-pandemic of course, to see James Marsters perform in concert?
No. It would be really cool. I know there's like there's a Comic-Con in like Prince George, BC coming up this weekend, and I know he's there, and there's also a wrestling show that at that Comic-Con, and I'm not even upset that I'm not like on the wrestling show for like the wrestling show, because I want to go see James Marsters. But it's an 8-hour drive, and I'm not going to do that.
I saw him in concert back in 2008-9 out on Long Island. I'm in New York City, and
that's cool.
And the audience kept asking for "Rest in Peace."
It's such a good song. I have it on my phone.
And he didn't do it. And every time he brought it up, he said, "You got to ask Joss."
That's fair.
Okay, and so to wrap up this Buffy segment, well, do you 3 questions of Buffy trivia, if that's okay.
Oh no. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. What did the epitaph on Buffy's tombstone say at the end of season 5?
Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, I know what it is. Ugh, I can't remember. You're gonna have to tell me.
Oh, I've quoted this ever since I saw it. She saved the world.
A lot.
Not a lot. Yes.
Yes. That's what it is. I'm like, I know what it is. It makes me laugh every time.
Okay, are you familiar with the fact that there was a 25-minute pilot that was shot to pitch the show to networks.
Yes, I think it's on one of the DVDs that I have. So I believe I have
Okay.
it.
Which character was replaced with a new actor after the unaired pilot / pitch to the network?
Shoot. Oh no. Was it Cordy?
Close. It was Willow.
Oh.
Allison Hannigan was not on board originally until after.
I think I did know that at one point.
Okay, and this one should I think might be a given because there's an emphasis on Canadian pride here.
Oh.
Which famous Canadian / national treasure turned down the role of Xander?
Oh, I don't know this.
Oh, well, that would be, in my opinion, Canada's greatest national treasure, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I did not know that, not even a little bit. That's very cool. That would be cool to have him as Xander.
So, who is Canada's greatest national treasure to you, then?
Brett, obviously, is Brett.
Sean Moore said the same thing.
It's because Sean Moore knows. He's smart. He's a smart cookie, Sean Moore.
He sure is.
Okay, yeah, you know what, James, I'm going to finish out my questions here. We love food here on Wrestling With, and we make it a point to ask all of our Canadian guests if they eat it, where is the best poutine?
See, I don't like poutine, and people are always like, yell at me for not liking poutine. I don't like gravy, and so it's just like not. I just like I don't like it. It's not my favorite. I love the cheese curds and I love fries, and so like if I could just be that. So I don't know where the best poutine place is because it's gross.
That's fair. That's fair enough. If the cheese curds came by themselves, I would probably eat them before I ate the entire poutine. So absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. Thank you.
No worries. I'm sorry to my fellow Canadians and gravy lovers, but it's gross. I'm sorry.
Take Zoe's Canadian license away.
Yes, please don't. I've curled once in my life.
Kick her out the gravy boat. No. Terrible joke. All right, James.
All right, now back to the wrestling portion of this interview. Now you do a move that really interested me. You do a middle rope springboard face plant.
Yes.
Could you tell us how you developed that move? Was that all you? Did somebody else help you with it? Was it somebody else's recommendation?
I stole it from Liv Morgan. I straight up, I just stole it from her. She does it like so well, and she's so cool. And so that's why I don't need to lie about it. I stole it from Liv Morgan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Now, correct me if I am wrong. You trained with somebody called Nose?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did.
Can you tell us about
that? So it was just this kid who was in training, and he just would like constantly like be blowing his nose and whatever, like to the point that like it was concerning, the amount that had happened, because it was like constant, and it was like it would interrupt like lessons and stuff, not like badly interrupt or like intentionally interrupt, I don't think. But it was just like constantly like happening to the point that like Lance started calling him it, and Chris Knight, who helped Lance out, he started calling him it, and just kind of like what he was called. I think once during like when we were doing practice matches close to the end, like somebody just worked his nose, like that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was just like a strange thing that happened that we all just kind of latched onto.
And that wrestler went on to be Sean Moore. No, I'm joking.
No. Sean was several years before me.
I'm joking. But is he somebody that we know on RCW? Or?
No, he's from Ontario, and I don't think he ever wrestled at all after Lance's.
Oh.
So no one knows about the nose.
No.
No.
But at least the nose taught you what the nose knows.
Yes.
Sorry, had to do it.
It's now time for the colossal question.
Oh no.
They decided to make a movie about you. What would be the first 3 songs on the Zoë Sager movie soundtrack up to this point in your career?
In my career, like wrestling career movie?
Yes. I mean, it could be just a documentary as well about your life. There's no really restrictions on it.
Okay. So, definitely Born for This by Paramore. It's my entrance music right now.
Alright, cool.
So that's definitely going to be on there. That's tough. I'm trying to like go through the songs that I really like at the moment. And like that work through. Oh, I'm really bad at remembering the names of songs. Is like also like part of it. So I have a song in my head and I can't think of even the lyrics right now. It's just trying to like play it through. High Hopes by Panic at the Disco.
Ooh, good one.
Nice.
That one came out like literally, I think, a month before I finished training, and so I took it as a sign that wrestling was going to be a good call for me. And then Weightless by, what's the name of the band? Oh, I can't think of Jimmy Eat World, I think.
Oh. Yeah, Jimmy.
I don't know. Whatever it is, like the name of the song for sure is Weightless.
Okay.
But like in the chorus, it's like maybe it's not my weekend, but it's gonna be my year, and so I think it's. But those are the 3 I'll go with.
Alright, 3 solid picks. Do you lock it in?
Sorry?
Do you lock it in?
Yes, let's do that.
Alright.
Think Weightless is all-time low.
All-time low, yes, that's, yeah. Like, yeah.
Jimmy Eat World does have a similar title, Sweetness, and it's understandable.
That's what I was thinking. Definitely not Sweetness, but all-time low.
Now, onto a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Pineapple on pizza, of course. It belongs on pizza. It belongs on more than just ham and it belongs on more than just pineapple pizza or Hawaiian pizza. It should go on barbecue chicken pizza. It is delicious on barbecue chicken pizza. Either if you like prefer, I don't put green peppers on it, but I do put pineapple. Green peppers are gross as well. But yeah, pineapple belongs on pizza. And Ava Lawless, you can Just shut up. Pineapple belongs to pizza.
Okay, I feel like there's been a debate between you and Ava about this.
Multiple times, yes.
I'm
It has been
assuming
a very loud locker room debate at one point as well.
I'm assuming she's negative of pineapple pizza.
She is.
Alright. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh no. What is it? Togepi.
Oh, awesome! Look at we've had Togepi on. Yeah,
No,
It's just so cute.
yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't have to do much.
But when she does do something, it's pretty freaking epic.
Exactly.
Will this question ever be asked on a wrestling podcast? Would you ever consider wrestling a Raw? Not Dwayne Johnson, Scooter,
Not the country.
an actual Raw.
I feel like if people can wrestle an inflatable doll, I could wrestle a rock for sure. I'd put it over. I'd sell for it. Very good.
I love that enthusiasm. And just for context, there's this wrestler from your neck of the woods actually called Psycho Mike that wrestled in actual Raw for over 15 minutes in an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Huh. Do not know who that is, but good for them.
Do you know nothing of Backyard Club?
No, not a whole lot.
Okay. That's up at Barry Wrestling. A lot of the guys.
Oh yeah, they're in Ontario, so what I see is like just kind of what pops up on my YouTube.
Okay. And on the show, we love Tracy Smothers. Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
I don't know.
Mm-mm.
Get it right this time, Scooter.
T is for terrible. H is for hell. U is for ugly. And G is for jail. Because a thug can't spell.
Very nice.
Now it's time for Zoë Sager's Bizarre Adventure. You're a wrestler that grows up in manly roads and weird, crazy, bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Okay, so the car was myself, Michael Richard Blaze, Taryn from accounting, Gigi Rey, and Stephen Crow. We were driving from like Edmonton to Winnipeg because we were being extras on Raw, and on the way back, we it was between Regina, Saskatchewan, and Saskatoon, and we got like part of the way out of Regina, and then we realized we're not going to be able to make it to Saskatoon on the amount of gas that we had left, and so we had to turn around and find a gas station. But it was at like 4 in the morning, maybe. I don't know what time it was. And so we pulled into a gas station, but it wasn't going to open for like another 15-ish minutes. And so we just parked at the pump and just kind of waited. And so we're all like so tired because we left right from the show at like, I guess it would have been maybe 5 in the morning. Anyways, we left right from the show in Winnipeg, and it's a 14-hour drive back to Edmonton.
Yeah.
And we left at like 11 or 12 sort of thing. And so we're driving back and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden there's a knock at the door, on the driver's window, and we all just scream because we have no idea. We're all like half asleep. We don't know what's going on, and it's just the gas station attendant being like, "I turned on the pump, so you guys are good." And it was like we all yelled. Nobody really knows fully what's going on because we were all just totally caught off guard by it, and it was like the funniest thing, scariest kind of moment because we're not in a town. It's just a gas station on the side of the highway, sort of thing. We like in Saskatchewan. We don't know what's going on. Like, is somebody trying to break into the car? And it's like on the side. I believe like it was either Gigi or Taryn that was driving, and so like, are they trying to like break into the car, sort of thing? And it's just like, we didn't know what was going on. It was wild.
That is a great story.
It was lots of fun.
You just mentioned you were an extra on Raw. What was that experience like?
That was very, very cool. It was just being able to like be in the back and kind of see a little bit more of the like inner workings of kind of what goes into it, and it's a lot, and it was very, very cool to just kind of see everything that goes into it, and being able to be there with like some of my like favorite people and people that I've trained with and people that I care a lot about, and being able to see that. And we were able to be in No Way Jose's conga line, so that was just like so much fun. We weren't on like the actual show, but it was on main event, and it was really, really, it was a really cool experience. And then being able to like see all the different wrestlers kind of just in their element, going to work and seeing all the rehearsals that go into it. It was a lot of fun.
It's kind of a window into a world that you want to be in one day, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Alright. That being said, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
It's hard to say. Definitely wrestling. Where, I don't necessarily know. There's a lot of different places that I'd like to try and go. I'm not really good at like I don't like to put like a hard timeline on things. If I'm signed to a major company, that would be fantastic. If I'm just wrestling on the indies and being able to have like be in like bigger indies, maybe go down to the States a little bit, that would be really, really cool. But I think it's just wrestling somewhere where I have a little bit more eyes on me, whether it's like even just in Alberta, but like just more people know who I am, sort of thing, and people like coming out to see me and like want to put their like trust in like what I'm doing, sort of thing. Whether that's in a WWE, AEW, Impact sort of situation or on the independents.
Alright, that's a great answer. I really like that. Well, and what is a match people should go? What is a match that people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Zoe Sager is all about?
I'm gonna say go watch my match. It's on a couple of different places on YouTube, so I know it's easy to find. Me versus Gigi Rey from February 2020. End of February. I don't remember what day, but I was at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. I was out injured, not from wrestling at all. But that weekend and like the last couple of matches leading up to that match specifically I was kind of getting back into my stride of like wrestling and like knowing what I wanted to do and getting comfortable again, because I got just kind of was changing some things up and was starting to get like my confidence back and doing different things. And that match, it was only the second time that me and Gigi had a singles match ever. I had her first match back in 2020 in January, and so being able to then in 2022 be able to have finally have another singles match with her. It was a lot of fun, and she's grown so much. I literally saw her take her first bumps, and now she's been on AEW Dark, and all that and on reality of wrestling TV and that sort of stuff. And so it was a lot of fun, that match. And we try to do different things and push ourselves a little bit, just to kind of see what we could do. So that match specifically, I'd say go and watch. Any of the clandestine stuff, the match that I had with Taryn from accounting in Act 2, Episode 1, that match was so much fun.
Oh, did you watch the Stone Cold one?
That one, yes. But then we also had just a singles match of ourselves and
Okay.
that asking for it. That one was really fun. There's a couple with Ava that are on there. I believe my matches with Stephen Crow are public. If not, let me know and I'll post one of them. Those were always so much fun to see that I had with him. So go check those out.
Alright, and we could put the Gigi Rey match in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that wants to check it out after this, if they haven't already.
Absolutely.
Alright, since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I guess so. As ready as I'll be.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Oh, Minami Toyota.
Wow.
Worst wrestler.
Oh no. I don't want to be negative. I'm not going to name anybody.
Well, technically, you did say "oh no," so now you know what? I'm not gonna give the default here. I'm gonna let it pass, James.
Turn and face on me. Your main event in WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Sasha.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
That's tough. Let's go with Bianca's. It's just so much fun.
Alright. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is
Different.
alright.
We also would have accepted is quite good on toast.
Squash. Fruit or vegetable?
Vegetable.
It is a fruit.
Weird. Nah, it's a veggie.
It's a tomato logic. But you are now officially in good graces with Kaliko Yachts, a part of Squash Squad, and that means a hell of a lot more.
Good. Glad.
Yeah. New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I like a full coverage, but it also depends on like the shape of the leg hole.
Interesting.
Yeah, it has to make your butt look nicer. If not, then there's no point.
I think that's the first time we've had the trunks has to accentuate.
If it's gonna show cheek, it has to make the cheek look nice. If you're not wanting that, then get them long enough that they're not going to show cheek.
Fair enough. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, I have not.
And that is the correct answer. And that concludes this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with us, Zoe.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast.
Well, we try to make it interesting for everybody.
Yes.
And once again, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Zoe_Sager and on Twitter at SagerZoe. One was stolen on the other. I can't remember which one.
Well, you don't even have to go looking for it. Both of those links will be in the description below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Give her a follow. And if you're in Canada, even if you're not in Canada, go see her wrestle. And you've been listening to her for an hour, a little over an hour. Buy a damn sword.
It's alright. I had fun.
If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Join us next week as we interview American Sumo Mike Gamble. The week after that, we got Anna Diaz, and the week after that, Taryn from accounting.
Yeah, TFA, baby.
Of course, this was sponsored by World Energy and Player One Coffee. You can follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram, for latest news on upcoming interviews, links, and everything you need to know about us. You can follow me on Twitter at JamesJ993. You can follow Kaliko at IamKaliko. And where can we find Scooter?
As always, find me on Twitter at ScooterDust. Find me and James hosting The Remix on YouTube, a premium audio companion experience for WWE premium live events, live streaming, alternate commentary for over 6 years and still going strong. And of course, catch me in all my Twitch antics along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan over at twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
Now, Zoe, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment.
Okay.
For our very special guest, Zoë Sager, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling Wit
Entertainment.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.